What's up, guys? I'm David.
I'm Cecil. What up?
This is the Lighthouse.
Lighthouse.
Um, so a couple. Well, first off, it's a big day for you, isn't it?
It's a really big day for me today. I lost the beard and I get 11 months today.
Come on, come on. 11 months clean is not easy.
It's not. Uphill, downhill battle, you know?
Yeah, man. No, we had a few updates. On the 26th, Jordan Ledford will be joining us, giving his testimony, and he's got a few topics he wants to discuss. If you don't know him, he's from my hometown. He's from Oak Ridge, Tennessee, and he works at the Next Chapter Rehabilitation Center.
I went.
He played a good part in getting both of us clean.
That is correct.
Yeah, so it's going to be a big treat, man. It's going to be a great day. It'll actually be the day that I get my year.
What you said.
Come on.
Come on. Man, that's gangster right there.
Yeah, man. God's doing so much. I feel like there was something else, but I can't really think of it. But I know we left off right with your grandparents had both passed.
Yeah.
What, a month apart?
Yeah, a month apart.
Yeah, and
I ended when I said that, I went from JC to, hi, my name's Cecil, I'm an alcoholic. Yeah.
I'll just hand the wheel over to you, bro.
All right, bro.
Do your thing.
Yes, sir. So the day after I buried my grandmother, I have never been lost like that in my entire life. It was probably one of the hardest times I've ever had in all due memory. But I secluded myself into the house where me and my mom were staying, and I drank to black out because I couldn't sleep. It was the only thing that would make me sleep. I'd never drank like that before, but it kind of got the best of me. Mom was drinking at the same time in a different room, but finally, after about a month of doing it, I had to pull myself out of my rut, and I went to go and try to find another job. But in the same time, while I'm doing this, I'm still selling acid. All that happened right about the time, when I moved out of the house and I moved into the apartment.
Yeah.
It was almost like the real world because there were 6 of us in the house in a 3-bedroom. And I took the couch area for the living room because at that time it didn't really bother me at all. So I had the living room to myself. Everybody came and went. It didn't bother me. But 2000, what was this? 2000? Yeah, it was 2001. There's a reason. That's 2. I'm in the apartment, and it's about, if I recall, it's about 11 o'clock, 11:30 that night, and somebody knocked on my door, like the police. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't really do anything. I didn't really move because, for my knowledge, we had already got rid of all the acid that we had. So I let it go. And then like 5 minutes later, same knock again. On that one, I told my best friend, I can't say her name, my best friend, her boyfriend had literally, I knew this because he came home and showed it to me. It might not be nothing. I don't know anything about guns. So he bought a little 22 that day. I guess it's like one of those little guns. It fit in the palm of your hand. It looks like all it's going to do is like leave a little mark on you. But, obviously it was a lot more than that. But anyway, yeah, it's a lot more than that. So in the apartment, it's like the door's here, and then you got a little area right there where a closet's at, like where you hang your coats or whatever. And then you come out, and there's a hallway about 30 feet long. You know what I'm saying? Like straight down. Bedroom, bedroom, bedroom. And I told him, I was like, man, somebody's knocking on this door, bro, and I'm not trying.
Yeah.
You know? So when I woke him up, he grabbed the gun and he went to the hallway, at the end of the hallway, you know what I'm saying, and posted up. Just waiting to see if somebody would knock again. Because I'm not answering the door.
Yeah.
So somebody knocked again. And I looked at him and he was like, so I go to the door and I open it and I don't see nobody. So I look to the right, I look to the left, I still don't see nobody. Why in the world would I go out the threshold to the other side and walk around the corner to see if anybody was there? Because there's also an outside storage unit, you know what I'm saying, where you could put bicycles and stuff like that on my side of the apartment.
Yeah.
I go and I look, and here comes 3 people, just people. They had masks on, and one of them put a real big chrome gun. People told me it was a 9mm or something. It was a minor, I don't know. Anyway, so he put the gun to the back of my head and pushed me into the house. So he's right here going into the house, taking mine. There's that little closet right there, so you couldn't really see. 2 other guys were directly behind him with guns. And as soon as he pushed my head to where my dude saw it, he shot. But I'm talking about, that's how close it was. And here's what happened. The bullet went through his hand and hit the butt of the gun. Second dude comes in, pop, pop, pop. He goes down. Third guy's dragging the second dude out because he got jacked up. And the first dude, he was like, I'm not getting shot for nothing, I suppose. So he literally I'm down on the ground. He's on top of me. He picks up his shiny gun. He puts it to the back of my head and he pulls the trigger. Nothing happened. Cops came, the whole 9. Cops said that the bullet that my bud shot, it hit the gun and jammed it. So
yeah, Jesus jammed it,
yeah,
bro. God jammed it.
Jesus
That's
jammed that.
crazy.
Yeah, Jesus jammed that for sure. All right, so that whole scenario was over with. I gave up that apartment immediately, and I bounced. And I went back to the house that I was paying rent for with Mom, and you know, I told her she needed to stop, you know, because I stopped. I was like, you need to stop, and she wouldn't stop. So that went on for like 6 months. So now we're at a year, you know, that Granny and Papa died. And I come home, I go out of town for the weekend, and I come home, and there's liquor bottle after liquor bottle after liquor bottle, just all them plastic vodka bottles. Yeah, they're laying everywhere.
Oh, Kamchatka.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm like, okay, I got to do something. She's passed out, like peed herself all over. I mean, like, it was horrible, bro. It was bad to look at.
Yeah.
And I was like, it was a wake up call, but I didn't see it. But that's not the point. The point is that I got her and I sat her up. I poured a whole like tea pitcher full of cold water and just doused her with it. Didn't even care. So she got up and she like started lifting herself up and stuff, still drunk as all get out. And then I go and check the house, you know what I'm saying, to see how many liquor bottles are in the house. Bro, at that time I was 160 pounds soaking wet. In my grandparents' room, there was a dude passed out in my grandparents' bed. Nothing in that room had ever been touched. That room stayed the same. I made sure of that.
Mm.
And that man was passed out, beer all over the bed.
Oh, no.
I don't know what happened to me that day, but I guess you know how people say that, you know, when your adrenaline gets so high that you can do almost anything. Yeah. This dude was like, I don't know, probably 50 pounds bigger than me and taller than me or whatever. I grabbed that man by his throat, both hands, and I drug him out of bed. And then I drug him I wasn't doing nothing in my grandparents' house. That house is no. So I took him and I brought him outside and I beat that man within an inch of his life. I'm dead serious. And when the cops came, everybody that was around, my neighbors and everything, they all came outside to see what was going on and to watch this fight. And when the cops come, they asked all the eyewitnesses, and every single person said self-defense. I still think about that. I still think about that to that day. Like, why would people, you know what I'm saying? Like, they know my mom. They knew what she was doing. Coming out drunk, checking the mail, stuff like that. Anyway, so they put dude in an ambulance and he bounced. Mom's still there on the porch. And there was a friend of my mom's who was there, and she looked at me and she was like, obviously drunk. Why did you do that? Why did you do that? Why did you hurt him? Blah, 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 blah. And I looked at her and I said, look, I'm not going to lie to you. This is one thing and one thing only. This is the last time I'm going to see you because you're never coming to step foot back in this house again. You need to get the F out, and that's it. Done. Those were the last words I spoke to my mom. That was the last thing I said to her.
That's tough.
I gave up the house. I couldn't be in the house anymore. Like, you know, after what I did and how much like that house meant, I couldn't open up that door in the house and be angry anymore. You know? So I let the house go and I moved to Lebanon, which is Lebanon, Tennessee. It's like where I was at, it's the next town over. They're still all in the same district. So I moved to Lebanon. My first actual legit serving job that I lasted more than a month at was a place called Santa Fe's Cattle Company. And they had just opened one in Lebanon and I started working there. I was really good. I was really, really good. I try to do that when I'm at jobs. But this is the craziest thing, man. These are things that you just can't make up. So it's a year later. So, and if you think about it, so my grandparents passed away. A year later, I tell my mom I never want to see her again, and use very, very, very definitive curse words at her. And then now we're a year later after that, and it's Mother's Day. And I'm at Santa Fe, and I am working the cocktail area where there's 9 tables. I had every one of those tables by myself. It's the busiest restaurant day of the year. Like, everybody know that. Like, if you want to get out of going to work on Mother's Day, you might as well find another job because they're not going to hire you. So it's Mother's Day. I got 9 tables. Manager comes up to me and says, Cecil, you need to go and take this phone call. I was like, I can't. I can't. Like, do you see this? And they're like, Cecil, I'm telling you, you really need to take this phone call. And I was like, bro, what are you going to do? You going to watch my table? You going to watch all 9 of these tables while I go and take a phone call where I tell people on the outside, do not call me at work. This is my place of business. And finally, they look at me and they say, Cecil, you don't go and take this phone call. You can just go home. I went to the office. My mom's twin sister, my aunt, her name is Deborah, by the way. My mama's name, I haven't said this, my mama's name is Dolores Ann. So my mom is Dolores Ann, my aunt is Deborah Jean. My Aunt Deborah, she was on the other line of the phone, and she said, hey, your mom's dead.
On Mother's Day.
Bro, how does that even, like, that kind of stuff just, I mean, I know it happens, but really? On Mother's Day. You know what's worse than that? I told my aunt on the phone, I said, I don't have time for this. I got to go. And hung up the phone.
Yeah.
That's how I felt in my heart. My mom had abandoned me. My mom had let me get beaten. You know, my mom never was a part of my life all the way up until Granny started dying. You know, come back in the picture, yada, yada, yada. And I said what I said and I meant it. And then now I get the phone call that happened. They found her in a hotel room in Oklahoma City. Apparently, she was dating a guy that was building Walmarts across the United States. And she was just staying in a hotel room with him. When the cops came in, they found 3 half-gallon, empty half-gallon bottles of Pop-Off and half a bottle of Mepergan.
Of what?
Mepergan?
I heard of it.
It's a very extremely high pain pill. Like, let's put it like this. You go and get, back in the day, you go and get your teeth ripped out, get your teeth pulled, something like that. They gave you Mepergan so you would feel no pain.
Yeah.
It's that kind of one. So I took that for what it was, and I just never spoke of it. You know, I let it go. And I really don't think that I don't even know if you remember me saying this, but the third time there was a reason. I was in my car like 4 days after that happened. And at that time, I'd left Lebanon now. No, there's no reason for me to be in Lebanon. You know, my aunt just lost her sister. So I moved to Hermitage, which is about 10 more minutes on the other side of the house I used to live in. Anyway, so I get a job at O'Charlie's in Hermitage. Still there. Restaurant's still there today. And I was in manager in training. I was at MIT. I'm young, bro. I'm 22. I'm not even 23 yet. And I had to be there at 7 for an MIT meeting, and then I had to go and work. It was my first bartending job. It was a little small bar, wasn't none. So I do that, and at 4 o'clock they said, "Hey, Brentwood has got a job that you need to go to." So I go and I get in my car. I drive all the way from Hermitage to Brentwood, which is 45 minutes away. Work all night. Didn't get off until 1 because I didn't know how to close their bar. Got off at 1, went and hung out with people for a minute. After that, about 2:30, driving all the way back home. I take in mind I'm on 20 hours of work, 4 hours of no sleep. And this is what they said. I'm driving. I fall asleep at the wheel. My car hits the metal, the concrete barricade.
Yeah.
It hits the barricade. I flip 7 times. And then I land on the other side of the interstate. And I got clipped by an 18-wheeler doing about 80. My face broke the steering wheel in half. And the only thing that saved me was not having a seatbelt on. If I'd had a seatbelt on, it would have snapped my neck. The momentum of me getting up with no seatbelt, and I broke the steering wheel, I pushed up against the glass, and the windshield saved me. It didn't break. With all that, it didn't break. I had a shard of glass. I don't know if anybody can see it, but I got a scar right here. Everybody at home knows I got it. A lot of people see that?
Yeah.
Yeah. A shard of glass about that big went into my skull. And if it would have went, they said less than a quarter of an inch more, then I'd be dead. 100% I'd be dead. I was in a coma for a month.
Oh, wow.
That's why I said that. That's why what they said, because I mean, the police were there, but there was no. I wasn't drinking it that day.
Yeah.
So that was that. So now mom's dead. I go through that. It takes me like 6 months to get better. I've lost the house. I'm staying at my aunt's house in the spare bedroom, and me and her had a quarrel, and I decided to leave. I was drunk. I'm going to say that a lot. I was drunk. So I was drunk. I left, and I went to go and stay with her son, Jimmy. And I lived there for about a year and a half. Yeah, about a year and a half. And I was working at Captain D's, bro. Captain D's. Not that that's a bad job. A job is a job no matter how you look at it. But I was getting paid minimum wage, cooking fish. So I met this lady. Her name is Miss Nancy. I can say that. Bro, when you lose your family, second generational family, bro, I don't know why I needed the love like that, but I needed somebody that was around their age to be a part of, So she hired me to be her handyman. Anything broke around the house that needs fixing. She had like a Mr. Miyagi backyard. I built it. Like there was a koi pond that she actually had koi fish in the back, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And a little wooden walkway to be able to get to it. Japanese maples all over the place. I redid her whole entire fence. I didn't do the knock with the hammer like Ralph Macchio did, but yeah. And she was my best friend, bro. She was 70 years old.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, she was my best friend. Got me out of a lot of funk at that time. I was going through a lot of funk. But she let me drink because she didn't know. I mean, at this time, bro, I had just started smashing I wasn't drinking the nasty beer until later. Like I'm smashing but at the time, Bud Light Platinum had just came out. Fireball had just came out. And I'm going ham on that. 12-pack of Bud Light Platinum, 6.0% alcohol by volume, and chasing it with Fireball. And I still didn't, after I quit Captain D's, I didn't have a job. So in 2006, I go and I take the bus, Metro bus. I take that and go all the way to Opera Mills Mall. Now, Opera Mills Mall had been done for like 2 years, right? That's where they put Opryland. Have you ever heard of it?
Yeah.
Okay. So I get there and the bus only drops people off in one spot, and that's right in front of the food court. But when you walk into the food court, it's not like old school malls. You know what I'm saying? Old school malls, you walk into the food court, there's like 9 things that are wrapped all the way around.
Yeah.
And that's it. You walk in this, you got TGI Fridays on one side, you got Chili's on the other side. I look through the window at Chili's and I'm like, bro, they're dead. And everybody's just sitting there all quiet and stuff. Bro, I turned around and looked on the other side, TGI Friday side. Bro, they got metal playing, and a whole petition was completely wide open. It looked like a big patio. And, bro, there was a girl. I'll say her name, man. She's amazing, bro. I love her. Lindsay Tidwell. She basically, in a nutshell, helped me change my life as far as my work went. I saw her back. She got gauges in her ears like that, big, solid black hair, pale skin, and just was flipping bottles like I've never seen anybody do that. I watched the movie Cocktail with Tom Cruise. I'd never seen anything like she was doing. And I was like, I'm going to be that. That's what I'm going to be. No matter what, that's what I'm going to be. So I didn't go anywhere else in the mall. Anywhere. There's 5 other restaurants I could have went to, but I didn't go to none of them. So I go to Fridays. They tell me we don't have any positions up front, but I'll do something for you. They're like, if you really want to stick it out and be a server here, I'll let you wash dishes for 6 months, because that's when we're hiring again. And I was like, how much? And they're like, I'll give you $11 an hour. At that time it was like 15.
Yeah.
But so I washed dishes for 6 months, and they finally gave me the job serving. This is 2008. I was getting paychecks. You know what I'm saying? Nice paychecks. Every 2 weeks you get paid. And I'm still living with Miss Nancy, bro. And she didn't charge me rent. So all my money went straight to alcohol. All of it. Like, there should have been a time that I literally thought about it and I was like, bro, you're fixing to be homeless. But it didn't bother me because Miss Nancy wasn't going to let me go. No. She wasn't going to let me go. So now 2010 rolls around, and I don't know if you've heard about this, but a lot of people probably do, or if not, I'll just say it. In 2010, a flood came in Nashville. It wiped out First Avenue. It wiped out Second Avenue. It almost wiped out the arena, Bridgestone Arena. It almost wiped it out. But it also went to the other side, and it wiped out the entire Opry Mills Mall. Opry Mills Mall was a total loss. Right. There's a restaurant in Opry Mills Mall. It's called the Aquarium, and they had the whole gimmick of it is they have fish floating everywhere, flying around everywhere, above your head, down the floor. You can see glass everywhere. I mean, there's sharks in there, dude. Like baby sharks, like about that big, but sharks nonetheless. There's sharks. When they went to go and open it up and see how much water was in there, sharks are floating out, bro. You know what that day was? That day was my first official bartending training shift. It was on that day. Miss Nancy came. I already had a new outfit because when you're a bartender, you got to wear different outfits. You know what I'm saying? You got to up class to vests and red shirts and stuff. So I got my shirt. I got my outfit on. I'm like, Miss Nancy, are you taking me to work? And she was like, Cece, you don't go to work today. And I was like, yeah, it's my first official, it's my training shift for the bar. And she was like, nope. She said, turn on the TV. I turned on the TV, bro. Bass Pro Shop is in Opry Mills. There's boats floating across Briley Parkway. I mean, just going on, just flying solo. People are trying to run out there and grab them. Bro, if you grabbed it and put it on, that's free money, bro. 12, 15,000. I mean, just saying. So I lost that. So now they're sending everybody to different stores because obviously our store's gone, and they also sent the bartenders there too. So, I didn't have a spot. So I'd already been there for like 2006, 2010, this happened. Now they sent me to West End. West End TGI Fridays was directly across the street from Vanderbilt University. That's where the money came. As a server, I was making $800 a week as a server. And when I finally got the chance to be a bartender, I validated my bartending stuff at West End. So now it's 2013. I'm bartending and the money's ridiculous. But you know what else is ridiculous? In Nashville, downtown, 21st Avenue, across the street from Vanderbilt University, there's a bar every 20 feet. And I got cash money every night when I get off. And I got a whole crew of people that I work with that are solid, and we would close down every single bar. It didn't matter what bar we went to. If we went to that bar that night, we were closing that bar down. Then we go to another one the next night, and the other one the next night. They closed down the West End TGI Fridays on July 27, 2014. I remember that because it was 2 days after my birthday. But on that day, my birthday, up until that point, nobody knew. Nobody knew the store was closing. They just put chains on the door and said, pick your paychecks up at such and such. On my birthday that year, they did a thing that they now call it the bar crawl. And we did that, and bro, I got alcohol poisoning. I drank that much to where I had alcohol poisoning. They put me in a hospital, pumped my stomach out. It was a wake-up call again that I didn't listen to. So now, after that, let's move on to 2017. I'm still working at Fridays in Murfreesboro now. And my drinking has become, it was out of my control. Does that make sense to you?
Did you know it?
I wouldn't admit it.
To anyone else or to yourself?
Everybody knew it, but they wouldn't say nothing. Because I kept telling myself, I'm good. We're at 2017 now. I've been at my job for 11 years. You know what I'm saying? 11 years. Never quit. Nobody sent me home. No trouble.
Yeah.
So, what's wrong? Well, I didn't do anything. Apparently nothing's wrong, so I'm good.
Right.
But
It's been
I had a GM. I had a general manager at that time. Guess what her name is? JC. And she cared about me a lot as a friend. And she's my boss, name on the door boss. And she looked at me one day and she was like, I came in drunk. And she said, if you don't go to rehab today, then you will no longer work for TGI Fridays ever. No brainer. And she doesn't put me at a rehab in Nashville. She sends me like 2.5 hours away to Buffalo Valley Buffalo Valley and Holenwald. I hope I don't get in trouble for this, but y'all are a joke. JOKE, joke.
Now, before you go down this road, I want to go back real quick
Mm-hmm.
and just talk about how common it is to have when people really have an issue, but it's like everyone's accepting them.
Yeah.
And everyone's it's like so it's that story. What is it? I'll get to that in a second. Go
Okay.
ahead.
Bro, I feel like if somebody would have said something to me, like literally, and like make like a slap on the face, reality check kind of stuff, I guarantee you they probably thought that I would run. You know what I'm saying? I would run away from it all because somebody finally told me. Like, bro, when I say nobody told me, not even my aunt. Like, she didn't even know nothing about this. So I checked myself into treatment in Buffalo Valley in Holenwald, Tennessee. There's nothing there. And if you were to like when we were at the chapter, right, we had one-on-ones. You know what I'm saying? Like as far as somebody to talk to, if you need to let a bunch of stuff out, there is none of that. It's 8 people in a room. If you share anything, you share it with every single person in that group. I wasn't having that, bro. I wasn't trying to tell everybody what I've told everybody here and told you.
I wouldn't say that makes them a joke.
Bro,
wasn't right for you.
It wasn't right for me at all. It wasn't right for. So I gave it no effort, none.
How you gonna say they're a joke if you ain't giving no effort?
Because I just didn't want to be there. I was forced to be there.
Yeah, that's just part of it, bro.
Yeah,
it wasn't their time.
It was my first time ever doing it too. So I was like, I'm forced to be here. I'll just go ahead and do my 30 days and I'll bounce and I'll have my job back.
I don't know many people that got it right the first try.
Understood.
You know what I mean?
Understood. So I get it. I get my 30 days. I come out and she says, you need time. You need time away from here.
Who's saying this?
My JC.
Yeah, okay.
Saying you need time away from here. You don't need to come right back in this realm of bartending and everything like that after you just got done going through that. She was like, I'm going to give you a leave of absence. You're not going to lose your job, but I'm going to give you a leave of absence. And I was
Good
like,
boss, bro.
Yeah. And I was like, okay. So here's where my best friend comes into play. I mentioned him last time, and I didn't get a chance to say anything about him because this is where it starts with him. I'm living at my aunt's house again, and then I come home drunk. I relapsed immediately.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Yeah.
And I was living at my aunt's, and she put me. We got into a big fight, huge fight, and And my Uncle Walt, he drove me to the hotel right up the street. And he said, here's 2 nights. After that, do what you need to do, whatever. I'll have your stuff here in the morning. You will never step foot in my house again after what you just did to my wife. And I was like, that was a reality check. 2 nights go by. It wasn't rock bottom, but it was close enough. I picked up the phone. There's a guy named Aaron. I won't get into a whole story about Aaron. Aaron, I love you, bro, on everything. You have saved my life twice. We went to Holenwald together. He was my cocktail server in West End. He was the cocktail server. And then I didn't see him for a year. And then the next thing I see him in Holenwald, Buffalo Valley, Holenwald. How's that? I don't talk to him for a year. And now he's there. I'm there. He gets out and his parents were, a little bit well off or whatever. So he ends up getting this house. And instead of moving in the house, he turned it into a sober living house. It was his first one. And he had told me I could come and live there. Because I called him on the phone in the hotel room and I was like, I ain't got nowhere to go. I don't know what to do. I went there and I lived there for almost a year. That's when I met Debbie. She's the second person that I've ever said the L word to. And, bro, when I say just solid, bro, just solid, man. Bro, we met on a dating app, you know what I'm saying? So that was just weird enough as it is. But, she would come and pick me, and knowing I'm in recovery, knowing I'm staying at the sober living house, she would come and pick me up. This wasn't Celebrate Recovery. This was AANA. So she would come and pick me up and take me to the churches for the AA meetings 3 times a week. She'd come and pick me up and sit in the car and wait for me. On Sundays, she would come pick me up. We'd go to Cracker Barrel, eat. We did date night religiously. Like it was the stability that I needed during that time. And I really wasn't even thinking about Fridays. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just wasn't thinking about it. So me and her go to Jacksonville, Florida. Her sister's getting married. Now, I've been there almost a year. Aaron's the owner, not the house manager. I tell the house manager that I'm going to Jacksonville, and they're like, nope, you're not going. I was like, I'm going. Like, no, you're not going. Okay, cool. So I go to Jacksonville.
Yeah.
I come back. They're like, they had all my stuff packed up on the front porch. Aaron can't do nothing about it. House manager's house manager. So I immediately went to my best friend's house, back to his house, and I had a bottle of Fireball in the freezer. And nobody touched it for the entire time. For that entire year that I was at the sober living, nobody touched my Fireball. He wouldn't let it. I come home, the Fireball sitting in the freezer. He said, hey, your Fireball's in there if you want it.
Of course.
Of course. So I immediately went to it. And
it's crazy how, like, at one point in life, that's what we would call a real friend. Looking at it now, it's like that's not what a friend does.
no, not at all. But he was my brother and I loved him.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now we're at 2017 going into 2018 now. And I'm living with Kelly. I'm giving him $500 a month, everything included. But just bro, it's hard seeing him all my life.